Hey, entrepreneurs. So listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you and say that I'm no marketing guru. But here's what I am good at, and that's seeing problems differently and finding creative solutions that actually work. So today, I want us to start a project together. And we're going to use AI tools to help you deepen your customer insights and expand your reach in ways that don't require you to become a full-time content creator. Now, before you roll your eyes thinking this is just another post on Instagram or post more on social media, period, pep talk, it's not. We're going way deeper than that. Welcome to In My Business, the show where I keep it real about launching and growing a business while juggling family, relationships, community, and everything else in between. I want to pull back the curtain and try to make the chaos make sense. I'm your host, Dr. Tiffany Allen Smith. I'm a business owner, I'm a veteran, a wife, a mom, and a proud member of the I Had to Figure It Out the Hard Way Club. This show is for anyone standing at the edge of entrepreneurship asking, can I really do this? I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. But let's talk about it first. Let's face it, marketing is basically a full-time job disguised as just being part of running a business. There's brand awareness, customer conversion, sales funnels, social media, networking, creating materials, understanding omni-channel strategies, all of this stuff. You get it. If you're somewhere crushing all of this while actually running your business, please slide into my DMs and teach me your ways. Because here's what I've realized. The customer journey isn't this neat little A to B path anymore. Customer attention is scattered across more platforms and touch points than ever before. And this means that your marketing has to be everywhere too. So that's online, that's offline, it's everything in between. Let me share something that is going to blow your mind because it blew my mind. Remember the old rule of 7? That was the classic marketing principle that said customers needed 7 touch points before they'd buy. Well, it's not the case anymore. So in 2025, that number has jumped to 28 touch points. You heard me, from 7 to 28. Now, just a couple of years ago, I was telling people that there were 8 touch points. And now there are 28 touch points. Crazy, right? Now, don't start panicking just yet, because I don't want you to start thinking about creating 28 different ways to reach people. So let me help you break this down. The actual number is going to vary by industry. So you'll need to do your homework on what that will look like based off of your industry. High involvement purchases, so I want you to think about cars or houses, they'll need way more touch points. And the low involvement ones, like your impulse coffee purchase, they'll need a lot less. Also think if it's a cold lead, then that's going to require a lot more. And it is 20 to 50 touches, while warm leads are only going to need 5 to 12. There's different variables incorporated within that, but think about 28 different ways to reach people for your industry. Just think about that number. And We're not going to go and tackle all 28 touch points in one episode because honestly, that would be overwhelming for the both of us. Instead, let's focus on what's probably going to make up the majority of your touches, and that's social media. All right, let's get into some data. So LinkedIn just recently released some pretty impressive research where they surveyed over 1,700 users and business decision makers about B2B marketing or business-to-business marketing. And here's what stood out. The content performed better when it has some of the following components. Humor. Yes, even B2B enjoys a good laugh. Strong visuals and color. AI integration. Diverse representation. So not just hitting on diverse aspects of the business, but also relatable to diverse customer types. Animals, because who doesn't love a good dog photo? And partnerships with current trends or events. So let's say it's football season and you're sharing post that connects with the sport. This study touched on a few more things, and I'll share it in my article on Substack. But I do want to point out this one last point. Among those who were prospective clients or those who had not tried the services, they were more likely to engage if the content was refreshing, had storytelling components, and was humorous. And for those that were existing customers to the brand, they were more likely to engage if the content was memorable, relatable, and had a clear message. You see the difference? There's two different audiences and two different strategies. Now that we have that out the way, let me share a secret with you. But it's really not a secret. I'm just going to say it. I am not a social media expert. Nowhere near being a social media expert. But I do understand it. And the reality is that I just don't have time for it. Just like you, I'm busy running my business, spending time with my family, maintaining the relationships that I actually enjoy. You get it. So creating content, posting it, and then responding to comments and interacting with other people's posts, that can literally eat half of my day. And I'm one of those people that overthinks every single post. It takes me forever to craft even the simplest response because I'm thinking about my audience. I'm wondering if I'm saying the right thing. Most of the time I drop an emoji and I just keep it moving. But I really, really wish that I had more intentional time for social media. But that's just not my reality. Maybe your life is set up differently and you have all the time in the world for it, or just more time than I do. If so, I want you to keep listening because hopefully this will still help you be more strategic about it. And this is exactly why we're doing this together. Because at this point, my business pages on social media, they are begging for my attention. They definitely need more love. I want to challenge myself, just like I want to challenge you, to do better. No, I don't have time for it, but it is so important. And let's go back to those 28 touches. I know. I told you not to think about it and don't freak out and don't panic about it. But social media is a large part of that number. And as much as I don't like doing it or don't want to do it. I have to do it. My business depends on doing it. And so, guess what? I'm going to do it. And I want you to do it too. This is where our project comes in. And it requires you to have listened to my first 2 episodes. Episode 1, Understanding Your Why, and episode 2, Understanding Your Customer. If you haven't listened to those 2 episodes yet, please pause this right now and come back when you're done. Seriously, I'll be here when you get back. And while you're working on finding that pause button, I'm going to take a short break to let you know how you can become a sponsor of this great show. I'll be right back. Hey, entrepreneurs, you know what fuels great content? Amazing coffee or tea. And you could be the hero behind my next caffeinated breakthrough. If you want to power this podcast while getting your brand highlighted to our awesome community, let's team up. Sponsor my coffee and tea habit, and you'll get a business highlight during the show and in my blogs for the week. It's advertising, but way more fun and personal. Because let's be honest, behind every great podcast episode is someone who believed in caffeine. And hopefully that someone could be you. Are you ready to fuel the show? Reach out by visiting my website at drtiffscommunity.com and clicking on that sponsor button. Let's brew up something amazing together. Welcome back. Welcome back. If you actually paused this show and went to listen to episodes 1 and 2, I appreciate it because now hopefully you understand why I wanted you to start this new segment off that way. If you've listened to those episodes, already understand your why and you understand your customer and you've created those personas, then it's time to put that knowledge to work. I want you to open up ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or whatever AI platform you use, and I am going to have you feed it 3 prompts. Now, if you're driving, please don't try to write this down or don't try to remember it. Just come back to it, but just listen through. And then when you're able to write this stuff down, do it. But I want you to remember, when I am giving you these prompts, the more detailed information you give it, the more valuable the response is going to be. These are not going to be quick 1-sentence prompts or just a few words. No, we're not treating our business like that at all. We're going to be very intentional. We're going to take our time and we're going to feed it the information we need to feed it so that it can provide rich information in return. All right? Get ready. Here we go. Prompt number 1. I want my business to be blank and blank. So I want you to identify 2 things that you want your business to be. All right, same prompt, different sentence. I want customers to be undeniably clear about blank. What is something you want your customers to be undeniably clear about? Your services, your product. What is it? Here we go. Again, same prompt. I want to attract my target customer who blank. Insert your target customer in there and be as detailed as possible. If you've listened to episode 2, you understand exactly who your customer is. Insert that information right there. All right? We're going to keep going. I also want to attract, insert. If you've identified more than one target customer, then that's where you will insert it. Okay? Ask me 10 questions to clarify my business's unique story and how it can help me grow. All right, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say the whole prompt all over. Prompt 1. I want my business to be blank and blank. I want customers to be undeniably clear about blank. I want to attract my target customer who blank. I also want to attract blank. Ask me 10 questions to clarify my business's unique story and how it can help me grow it. It felt pretty awkward going through the prompt that way with the blanks. So I'm going to share my example with you, and hopefully it makes more sense. Here's my prompt. I want my business to be known and profitable. I want customers to be undeniably clear about the printing services that we provide. And I want to attract my target customer who knows what she wants for her business and sees us as a relief from her busy schedule. She sees us as her partner who can help ease the burdens she already has running several busy offices. I also want to attract small and medium-sized businesses with marketing budgets who prioritize printing and understand the quality and value that comes with it. Ask me 10 questions to clarify my business's unique story and how it can help me grow. Your prompt should flow in a very similar way. And remember, the more information you add to it, the more information it will return. It's going to return 10 questions based off of that prompt. And once you get those questions, I want you to take the time to really reflect. And I also want you to provide thoughtful answers. This isn't just busy work. These are insights that are going to be game changers for your business. Now, some of you may be thinking, could you do this without AI? Of course you can. Of course you can do this without AI. But you've got enough on your plate. And this is just only going to help you save time, and it's going to give you better results. All right. Now, are you ready for prompt number 2? Remember, only do prompt number 2 after you've answered all of the questions from the first prompt. And once you share those answers with ChatGPT, and only after you share those answers with ChatGPT, then give it this. Prompt number 2. Based on what you now know about me and my business, help me shape these responses into a narrative that powers my marketing and how I present my business to my target customers. I'll say that again. Based on what you now know about me and my business, help me shape these responses into a narrative that powers my marketing and how I present my business to my target customers. Once you type that in, I want you to take a look at what comes back. It's going to be pretty impressive. Read through those responses, read through that narrative, and if it does not align with what you think your narrative should be, then go back and think about how you answered those questions. So you may have to add more detail to those questions or maybe focus on certain aspects. So the prompt that I just gave you, what it returns is really going to be based off of your responses to those initial questions. Now for the final prompt. Prompt number 3. And you're going to say, create a content series that shares my story in bite-sized, high-impact posts for my business social media accounts. Ensure that the posts are refreshing, have strong storytelling components, and some have a slightly humorous tone to them. So remember we talked about earlier, if you want to attract new customers, according to that study, they need to be refreshing, have strong storytelling components, and have humor. I'm going to read that prompt again. Create a content series that shares my story in bite-sized, high-impact posts for my business social media accounts. Ensure that the posts are refreshing, have strong storytelling components, and have some slightly humorous tones to them. Now, this prompt will apply if you are focusing on obtaining new customers. If you want to engage with your existing audience, then ask, create a content series that shares my story in bite-sized, high-impact posts for my business social media account, and ensure that the posts are memorable, relatable, and have crystal clear messages to them. Remember, 2 different audiences, 2 different strategies. Once you get those results, it's going to share a content series. It's going to contain anywhere from 5 to maybe 10 different bite-sized post ideas that you can use. And you can even go deeper with this and ask it to create example graphics or suggest post formats. If it returns something that you actually like and you can use it on your social media, ask it for a brand guide. You have the fonts, you have the colors. You can have fun with this. The goal is to feel empowered to actually use this information, because that's the point. Now that we know how to get this information quickly, we need to use the information and actually put it on our social media page. And this is the challenge. So here's my challenge for you. If you don't have a marketing team, I don't have a marketing team. I am it. If you do have a marketing team, then you can pass this on to them. You can talk them through this, maybe have them listen to this episode, and they can help you grow from there. But if you don't have a marketing team, I want you to block off an entire day. Yes, I said it, a whole day. You need to block off an entire day or block off 2 half days, however you get it done. But I need you to focus on this and to get it done, because in this day, I want you to create content for each recommended post. So if ChatGPT returned 10 recommendations, and if you align with all 10 and you feel like you can get some usage out of all 10, I want you to create 10 social media posts. And eventually, I want you to get to the point where you can schedule these posts and be more intentional about how you touch your target customers. If you align with the 10 or so that it shared within that content series, then feed it some additional prompts so that you can get an additional 10, and then maybe get an additional 10, an additional 10. You get it. Because here's the thing. We've only just scratched the surface of marketing your business on social media and also for managing those touch points. But this is the foundation, and this is where we start. It's going to change how you think about connecting with your customers. It should. I know it has changed how I think about connecting with them. And I am so very interested in hearing how this works out for you. And I want you to know that you can see how it is working out for me by staying in touch. So stay connected with me. You can follow me on Meta and Instagram at Dr. Tiff's Community. Also, subscribe to my Substack. This is where I share articles that complement each episode, and you are also going to find these same prompts written out in those articles on Substack once you subscribe with me there, because I don't want you to freak out and think that you missed something. It is going to be in the article. So you don't have to be frantic if you were driving and didn't get the opportunity to scribble down any notes. And I hope that you did not scribble down any notes while you were driving, okay? But until next time, entrepreneurs, keep thinking differently. Thanks for being in my business. If this episode made you nod, think, or resonated with you in any way, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget, leave me a review, share some questions, and come back next week. We've got more to talk about.